My name is Rishikesh Nare, and we welcome you to our special series, The Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories. It's an initiative by ETH. The key to Cutting Chai conversation is to have a good discussion around the areas of your early life, education to grooming, training, business sense, skill augmentation to work-life balance. And before we begin, let me set the context right. Okay, it's a candid conversation series where we take you through the inspirational journeys of influential people. You all have seen these personalities in the corporate world, but we are taking them away from the boardroom drama to have some fun chat around their personal life. And today we have with us Mr. Ashraf Biran, founder and director, Wellness Forever Medicare Limited. So Ashraf, again, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. It's very challenging. I know, work from home. You must be doing the same. Managing even 10 minutes out of that, it's a challenging task. But you have, given us more than 1 hour. Should I say it publicly? Yeah, it's 1 hour. So thank you so much. And let's jump to the conclusion. And what you want to do today is we want to explore, every bit of your personal life. And when we say personal life, let's go back to your childhood days. Tell us about the city you belong to and your childhood memories, your schooling days, your teachers, and how mischievous you were. That's the more important part. So spend more time on that. So please,
Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me on the show, Rishikesh and Aditya, Viraj, Alisha. Thank you, team. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it'd be wonderful sharing some life insights to you. It'd be wonderful chatting with you guys. I'm very sure I'm going to enjoy this. Let's take this forward. Okay. So now coming on the onset, I had the luxury of having a very, very humble beginning. Grew up in a very, very small middle-class family. And I personally feel that whatever I am today has been a very, very strong point that I come from very humble beginnings. Very early in life, certain fundamentals we learned very clearly. And one was fighting for everything that you need. Nothing comes to you free in life. Nothing is offered to you free in life. And more importantly, how to survive against all adversities. Generally, I always tell my children that you are born in such a stable condition. And fortunately for you, you have a very stable life. But somewhere in life, if you don't pass through the trail of fire, you are never actually tested. So right. As early childhood, I remember we had a very small budget as far as came even for buying very small chocolates. I still remember the first time Thumbs Up was introduced. To just buy a bottle of Thumbs Up, it was like phenomenal. If you could gather that amount, 5 paisa, and then go and buy an ice cream at that time, which was worth 20-30 paisa. I mean, I still, sometimes when I buy off, things like an ice cream cone, or I buy something and I pay them 200-300 rupees, I actually inwardly I'm smiling sometime to myself, reminiscing the days when you used to pay maybe 50 paisa for a cup of ice cream. So I think that growing up in a low or a middle class income group, and I basically was staying in a small chawl where the common toilets are shared. So the urgency of sometime going for your daily ritual, I can't explain it to you. What a pleasure it is.
I
small things.
I could definitely relate to that because you have to
honestly, very blessed to be in that space.
Yeah.
So loved it. So loved that space growing up. And my education, I did my 10th from a school called as Antonio D'Souza Convent High School, which is at Baikula. Because I used to stay at an area called as opposite JJ Hospital. So it is just next to Baikula. So the convenience of travel and all. So we used to stay at JJ, and then I did my schooling from Antonio D'Souza High School. In short, we used to call it ANZA, ANZA. So that is where my childhood actually started, and I did my 10th schooling from ANZA at Baikula.
I mean, I'm more interested listening to the stories where how you spent, or is there any secret way to get into Rani Bagh? because you must be knowing that. So guys, those who are not aware about
Yeah.
that,
So honestly speaking, honestly speaking, I was really a very serious student. In my group, there were a lot of people who used to do that bunking and then go to Rani Bagh to spend their day. And then again, we had a 7 to 1 school. And then sometime coming back at one school and then joining us together and then taking the school bus to home. But somehow I never had the courage to do it. Maybe because of the upbringing we had. So my father and mother from very early age imbibed one thing in us was that it is a matter of trust. If we believe in you, if we give you some responsibility, it is for you to inculcate in you and take it forward. You may come and tell us lies, but you may not lie ever to yourself. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to ask, you can always come and ask, but it should never be based out of not telling the truth. So I think something was there and I never felt the reason to bunk classes like how other people did. Yeah, but a little mischief here and there, having a smoke sometime or, going out and standing with the guys crowd. Well, that was something which was very natural. And we had a convent school, a total girls convent school. Ours was a total boys convent school. So you can understand the chemistry. The school started at the same time, live at the same time. So a lot of those old memories which are fresh in the mind. But one thing which early on I realized was that success is very important in life, and money matters. And more importantly, money can bring you a lot of luxuries. See, when you go through a very humble beginning, there are many things you want as a child in life, and maybe because of the funds not being available or your parents are not in a position to give you all those things, it really creates a sort of like wanting in your heart कि मुझे भी ये चीज चाहिए, as in when I grow I can afford, I'll definitely like to buy those things. So very early on life I thought that yes, whatever you want in life will be available to you provided you are able to put in that much of effort, if you are able to do those sacrifices, and more importantly, focus on what you want delivered to you. So very early in life, I think I always imagine, and it's a world of manifestation where we say, what you think in your mind happens in front of you. It's a power of belief, power of manifestation, which honestly I humbly believe even today, and it has played a major role in my life. So honestly, whatever I desired in my childhood, whatever I desired as a teenager, as a business person today, so the power of manifestation is very strong, very strong. The only thing is that it has to be supported with that courage, with that unstinted hard work, and more important, a lot of sacrifices which go into making a success story.
I mean, that was a brilliant piece, what you spoke about and how you described your childhood connection with your parents and their ideology, where, again, it's a wonderful side of, that part of the city, because people think, that if you're Lal Bagh Pai, Bhaikala, you're not responsible guys, you do anything. But yeah, one thing
Yeah.
very nicely put there, and I can relate to that you have that pressure whether to come out of do your struggle, do things, move away from that place and do something big. And that is something your parents are always envisioning, because they want their child to just go there or dunya dekho ye dekho yahan hi mat raho. And this pressure nobody will understand, but thank you for putting it across in a very subtle way. uh, you know uh, another aspect of it, most of us, you guys don't know about Rani Bagh. Rani Bagh is the biggest what do you call it? It's the biggest zoo, controlled zoo in Mumbai.
Yes,
And
it used to be the biggest zoo in Mumbai city, and used to be the habitat for all the bunkers who used to bunk from college and school.
so again, you most of the people, they have that opportunity to go there, have fun, bunk your classes and do things. But most of us, we don't go. We study, we do other things, we take few things
Yes.
not seriously, but sincerely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if that is correct.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yes.
let's move to another part of your life. So about your college, were you in Mumbai or you moved to another city to do that?
So once I finished my schooling, I actually joined KC College, that is at Churchgate. Kishan Chand Chilaram College is where I studied my 11th and 12th. Had the good fortune of coming in contact with a lot of the South Mumbai crowd. Generally, the South Mumbai crowd for us are the toffee nose crowd, who have an attitude. Yes, yes, a lot of attitude, a lot of money. And, we coming from very humble beginnings. I actually started, what do you call here? Started to aspire for more. कि यार ये जो चीजें इनके पास है ना, ये चीज हमारे पास भी होनी चाहिए. वैसी स्वैंकी क्या कहते हैं, कार्स होनी चाहिए, वैसे स्वैंकी क्लोथ्स पहनने चाहिए, वैसे स्वैंकी गैजेट्स होने चाहिए,
परफ्यूम
हाँ, हर चीज वो स्वैंकी गर्लफ्रेंड्स होने चाहिए. So all those things, so very early in life I started actually thinking how to get this. So started actually thinking, started working slowly towards that. So I did my science. So my father always wanted me to be a doctor. You know how it is in the family. Baap ne bol diya, file close ho gayi. So he said, you have to be a doctor, baat khalas. Jabki it was my personal choice that I wanted to be a seafarer. I wanted to be somebody on the ship because I like to travel a lot. So at that time also my mind was very clear कि यार अगर ट्रैवलिंग करना है ना तो शिपिंग से अच्छा काम नहीं है. एक तो अपन पूरी दुनिया घूम सकते हैं, मजा कर सकते हैं और पगार भी देती है यार, और क्या चाहिए. So in my family, my uncle was actually a chief engineer. He was a marine chief engineer whom my auntie was married to. So I told him कि uncle एक काम करो, मेरे को कैसे भी तुम शिप पे डाल दो, make me a cadet, anything ना, you put me on ship. उसके बाद जो जुगाड़ है वो मैं कर लूंगा. I'll do that जुगाड़, that is not a problem. Because for us the survival instincts, growing up that those areas is very strong. So हमारा जुगाड़ is something which is always there with us. So I said जुगाड़ हम कर लेंगे, उसका कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आप कैसे भी मुझे शिप पे एक बार डाल दो. तो he said ठीक है बेटा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, I am a marine engineer, I know people, तुमको कैडेट बना के मैं डाल दूंगा, and then later on you decide how you want to take it forward. But walked in my father, he said nothing doing, कुछ भी नहीं करना है, तुमको तो डॉक्टर ही बनना है. गई भैंस पानी में. सब ड्रीम्स, एवरीथिंग वाज थ्रोन आउट एंड सेड चलो कोई बात नहीं, अभी बापू ने बोल दिया है, दैट इज द अल्टीमेट थिंग. सो जॉइंड केसी कॉलेज, टुक साइंस and became one of those studious students. So morning 6:30 we had the first practical, started actually understanding what is nitrogen and all those other gases. So put in a lot of effort. So did my 12th from KC College, passed out first class. Okay. And then I actually started to do business because my father had a small pan bidi shop. I'll just give you a flashback. And we used to stay behind that shop only. So when I used to come back from my school, I used to assist him in running that pan bidi shop. Okay. And so as a businessman, वो बचपन से ही वो पैसे के बारे में या धंधे के बारे में ट्रेनिंग शुरू हो गई. Okay, so that got inculcated into the blood. So when I joined college, he converted that this pan bidi shop to a general store. Okay. And by the time I actually completed my 12th, he had already converted that into a pharmacy. अब 12th के बाद वो pharmacy में dad ने तो convert कर दिया. But dad was a very simple person. He didn't understand much of business. Okay. So the medical store opened. I think financial problems started for my family in terms of बिजनेस अगर हम बराबर रन नहीं कर सकते हैं, अगर एक फार्मेसी आप बिजनेस रन नहीं करोगे बराबर, तो बहुत तकलीफें आ जाती है. In the intermittent period, what happened, I actually gave the exams and I got admitted. I got the admission in Usmanabad Medical College. Okay, because dad wanted me to do MBBS. Okay. So I took the first year admission there, entrance exam. I passed, I got the admission, I went in. In the first year, when I came visiting my home again, my mother told me, "Ke beta, see this medical store, what your father has created, somehow is, a big financial headache for all of us. Whatever savings we have put it into this business, but somehow we are not able to do anything out of it. No head or tail. So my advice is that you come back." Because I was the eldest brother, followed by three younger sisters. तो जैसे हमारे इंडियन फैमिलीज में होता है, ये बहनों की जिम्मेदारी भी तुम्हारे ऊपर है बेटा, तुम डिसीजन ले लो. सो आई सेड यार बहुत मुश्किल काम है, बिकॉज एक चीज मुझसे कभी नहीं होती है ना, वो कोई भी एक जगह पे बैठना. मतलब आई रिमेम्बर चाइल्डहुड से आई एम वेरी वेरी व्हाट यू कॉल impatient by nature. So most of the time when I am having anything in my life, even today, I always pray to God and say, God, give me patience, but please hurry. So that is how I am even today. So I said, यार दुकान पे बैठना बहुत मुश्किल काम है यार, 14 घंटा 16 घंटा कैसे बैठेंगे इसको. But then mom said, beta, is there any other alternative you have in mind? You decide. The family is everything, the responsibility is on your shoulder. So I said, नहीं ठीक है, अब ये है तो ये करते हैं. Then I dropped out of my study and I came and joined my dad in the chemist business. So right from there, the journey started. And I'm somebody, if I put my mind and heart into it, then I'll give it my 110%. So I started, slowly, actually learning that business, growing that business. Took me 10 years to understand what is basically a pharmacy. How is that business run? What are the pain points? What are the growth areas? How the business has to be done? Intermittently, I did my DPharm, that is pharmacy, from Chiplun. Okay. 1 year course that was after 12th. So I did my DPharm, diploma in pharmacy from Chiplun. Because उस जमाने में pharmacist लोग को, I still remember, we had to pay them 8 to 10,000 rupees salary, and I couldn't afford to pay that 8 to 10,000 rupees salary to a pharmacist. So I said, ये जरा मैं manage करके course कर लूंगा तो वो 8-10 हजार रुपए भी बच जाएंगे. So somehow I managed to do that course and became a pharmacist, more out of compulsion rather than preference. Okay, and then started again, how to reinvent the business. So after 10 years, I realized that the most important part in a pharmacy is location. If your location of the pharmacy is not right, whatever you do, you will not be successful. So the next step I took in my life was I went to Parel and opened my second pharmacy opposite Children Wadia Hospital. Okay, and that's a different story altogether. How I coerced the owner to give the shop to me, because that was, sorry?
I was born there in Wadia Hospital.
Okay, wonderful. So the pharmacy opposite Children Wadia Hospital, Royal Chemist, was actually run by me. I created that Royal Chemist pharmacy there. So started that journey, Rishikesh, and was very fortunate. Had a great run of success. And today, whatever I'm in life has been given to me by Parel. My teaching happened in JJ Hospital. By my real, learning of business and how to grow business. And Parel welcomed me with both arms open. And I loved the place. So started the second shop there, the third shop there, the fourth shop there, and then went on to actually acquire National Chemist, which is the most iconic shop in this city today. That is opposite KM Hospital and Tata. So that's how the journey actually went. And today we are here in Wellness Forever, where we have close to 250 branches, around 5,000 people working, out of that close to 800-900 are pharmacists.
Yeah, but
so this is my professional journey.
Yeah, you've answered all the segments without even, I did not even ask you those questions, but you've answered all the questions without even me asking, because maybe that connection from Parel. Maybe I'm born there in that area. I know how the vibe is. And let me tell you, all the viewers, the pharmacy, the shops that he's mentioning right now, these are the iconic ones. Okay, so even anyone who is from Dadar, Parel, Lalbagh area, just name it. That's a landmark. I mean, people, if you want to go to KEM Hospital, which is the largest hospital in Asia. If you want to go to Tata Hospital, which is the best hospital for cancer patients, you just have to say, okay, the national chemist ke yahan pe na, wahan pe hospital hai wo. That is, that's an achievement. That's what I feel. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to ask you, but yeah, two questions before we move to another segment. Who's your real life hero and real life hero? I mean, you may say actors, cricketers, or any sports personalities, but real life wala hero aapka kaun hai? Because you in that area, you have so many inspirational people walking around you. You may get inspired by anybody.
So honestly speaking, there are two people who I have always loved, and I love biographies. I love to read about great leaders, and all that is a passion for me. But in real life, if you ask me, I love Ratan Tata. I love the philosophy he stands for. I love that man, humbleness. And more importantly, I love the heritage, what he has created, how he has taken this journey in his life. There are different ways. Many people are, have a tendency towards few things. But I love the guy in terms of integrity, honesty, and how every time when the country is in crisis, how the Tata Group stands up for them. Unbelievable. So that is what I call as nation builders. And I love that guy. I respect the guy. Wherever there is any article about Ratan Tata, I would definitely read it. Amazing. Yeah.
And yeah.
So that's one person from terms of integrity, honesty, business, I respect a lot.
So if we give you this power, and if I give you a time machine, and if you have an opportunity to go back in days where Ashraf is coming home from the school, he's right there at this Pan Bidi shop where his father is working. And if you see that person, if you see that young Ashraf today, what message that you would want to give it to him?
Well, there is only one message that I would love to give the people today is, whatever you dream, you can achieve. Trust me. You have to have the faith in your dreams. And that dream, whatever you want in life, should always be 24/7 playing of your mind. Let not that dream die. And if you achieve anything out of that dream, bring another dream equally more powerful than what you have earlier dreamt. And keep on dreaming and going after bigger dreams. And honestly, at the end of the day, please do see how you're going to impact people's life positively in all those dreams. How it is there. Professional growth will be there. But honestly speaking, how it is going to be the giving back to the society, which is very important to me. So honestly, as I grow in life and I reach a certain stage, my personal dream is to build a super specialty hospital, a school, a college, and an old age home. And this is all going to be world class. And this is going to be world class and structured in such a manner where they are self-supportive at least for 100 years in terms of finance. That is my dream, and God willing, I'm working towards it. That's how is my way of giving it back to the society.
Wonderful thoughts, wonderful thought, ideology. And I feel that, very few people, they have this kind of, they have good thoughts, they want to do well, they want to do good for the society, but I don't know, again, they're scared, or maybe the time constraints. There are so many things, which are around, which pulls them back. But yeah, if people like you, if you keep on doing things, this will inspire, another set of people, and then another few hundreds, few thousands, and maybe a generation. And that is where, we really value your efforts. Uh, now let's move to another segment where we have another tech expert with us, Mr. Aditya Agarwal, who is the head of large enterprise business, Lenovo India. Hi, Aditya.
Hi, Ashraf.
Yeah, so all of
Hi,
us.
Aditya. Nice meeting you there.
Same here.
So I'm going to put one question to both of you, and I would need your perspective. And this is the most exciting segment where I get to learn so many things from experts like you. Ashraf, Aditya, we all have seen the digital transformation has happened in last 18 months. Okay, people have adopted different styles, different practices to run their business, to sustain in that manner. But from the technological point of view, because technology has grown at an exponential speed in last 1 year, and the credit goes to people like Aditya, because you guys are working in the tech field. Let us know that from a layman's perspective, what do I expect in next, say, in the next 2 years? What's going to happen? We all have seen automated systems. We all have seen high-tech devices to do your work from home, kind of a thing. But what do we expect from a business side, and what do we expect from a technology side? Please, I mean, anyone can start. Who do you want to start first?
I can start here.
Yeah, I think Aditya, you can start. You have
I
that.
So, Rishikesh, you're right. We have seen a digital transformation. We had seen digital change, and suddenly everything happened so rapidly. Frankly, I think everyone was surprised that we can do what we have done. Going forward, this transformation is here to stay, because most people have realized that digital is the way to go, to be prepared for future also, as well as the gains that they have seen this time. We are having this conversation on video chat. There's no way in the world that we would have done that 2 years earlier. Now, what we see is that this is definitely going to happen. Consumers would start looking for faster and better and cheaper at the same time. They need devices which are faster at lower cost, but better, lighter. So we see home connectivity and everything also going up, because as you use more and more digital devices, and as the younger generation also grows up, you start seeing that they've grown up digital, right? So you will see that we'll have more connected homes. We'll have devices talking to each other, right? And a lot of businesses will come up in this area, which will use technology to a large extent. So this is here to stay. Your life is going to be much more digital than where it is today, in my view.
Ashraf, your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Aditya on this. And I personally feel that a couple of years back, I'll just give you a quote. We were attending the Gartner Conference of Technology, okay, in Goa. And there, they made a statement which was very, very iconic. They said earlier people used to say that digitization is a part of business. We are saying as we go forward, digitization is the business. Well, at that time, the realization was slow to happen to me. But if you go to see today, digitization is the business. So any company which is not digitizing, which is not adopting the new technologies, which is not going full breakneck speed into digitizing and technology, will be laggards. There is no business, I think, which will be able to sustain itself in the long run if you don't have digital thinking. And I personally feel digitization is the biggest boon to mankind. Okay. And the things we can actually do with digitization is phenomenal. It has really helped us to grow. It has really helped us to streamline so many things in operation. And as we go forward, I'll only use one word, which yesterday I was sharing with the team, which is building and improvising our app, the tech team, which is improvising our app. I told them that the possibilities of digitizing and improving an app is limitless. It is limitless. Whatever you want, you can actually have in this era of digitization. And we are so fortunate and lucky to be born in such a era where we can see this thing happening in front of us. Because I remember myself, I come from an era where I had to speak to some relative in the US. We used to book a trunk call in the morning. The trunk call used to get connected somewhere at midnight. And by the time we were trying to speak, half of the time the conversation was not audible. So I have seen that. So you can understand what I feel now when I connect to somebody in the US and in a split of a second, I am able to have a conversation. I think what bigger blessings can you have? So going forward, I think it's a brilliant addition to our life. And everything, all walks of your life, as you go forward, let it be business, personal, emotional, everything is going to be touched by digitization. Very, very happy to be in this space. And I love to experiment anything in digital. I'm very happy to experiment. It really gives me an adrenaline push to see how I can digitize anything in my workflow or in my personal life. Just imagine how apps have made your life easy. Definitely, they have made Zomato richer, but it has also made a lot of things easy for you, right? So I love digitization. I believe in that. That's it. We three people having a conversation from different parts of the city or countries or maybe locations, and so beautifully connected over one digital platform. And I mean, what you can do, I mean, it's limitless. I think fantastic. It's what your mind can think, you can achieve in this era.
Totally agree with you.
So, viewers, that was Ashraf for you. Humble and a kind personality with a certain spark, okay, which helped him to achieve all his dreams. And that's what he meant, right? He said, you need to have you need to have a dream, and one fine day you will get it. He carries an aura that depicts solidarity with a pinch of sweetness. Right? Should I say pinch of sweetness or a spoonful of sweetness? But yeah, he's an inspiration for all Gen Zs and the millennials and the kind of things that he's doing. Yeah, we want that one Indian brand to go abroad and do so many things and open million stores to have a wellness forever kind of a life. So Ashraf, thank you so much. Thanks for your valuable time. I really enjoyed talking to you because I could connect with so many things. Thank you for those anecdotes, and we'll see you around. Yeah, we'll see you soon with another kind of interaction, maybe a physical interaction around your stores. Maybe one fine day you will be taking me through 500 stores that you have around the city.
Most welcome, Rishikesh. And anytime you're coming towards Vikhroli, we have a corporate office here. Do connect, come over for a cup of coffee or lunch we can have together. There are many things we can share from the Dadar and the Bycular Connect and the Parel Connect.
Thank you.
We can do that. Thank you, team. Thank you, speaking to wonderful there. Thank you so much. Wishing you wellness forever. All the best.
All the best to you also, Ashraf.